Welcome back, everyone, to the Conversations with Dart podcast. I know it has been a very long time. I've been on a hiatus for a while, 2 years. Was it intentional? No, I was lazy. And so we are super excited to be back with Season 2 of the Conversations with Dart podcast. It's going to be a good time. I have a lot of new special guests. Life has changed drastically for me. As you can see, I'm not in the basement like in Season 1. We're in a brand new location. I'm not going to tell you where it is because I'm going to keep it private. Anyway, I'm super excited for Season 2, and kicking off Season 2, I have a super special guest, an amazing friend of mine I've had the privilege of meeting while spending my time out in Iowa. His name is Noah. And Noah is a legend of some sorts. He goes and attends Highlands College. He is influenced and loves Jesus so much. And I'm super excited to have him on the podcast. So kicking off Season 2 for us is the legendary Noah Pimperl.
Thank you
Noah
so much,
Pimperl,
Darren.
welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I feel like that intro was very undeserved, but I feel like I got expectations to fill now.
Well, we have a fun time here,
Yeah.
you know? All right, Noah. So why don't you tell these people who don't know who you are, what you do, maybe some hobbies. Just give us the Instagram bio of Mr. Noah P.
Mr. Noah P. Okay.
Noah P.
Well, I do a lot of things. Like Dart said, I go to Highlands College, and that journey started about almost 3 years ago. And so I'm going into my senior year now at Highlands College and almost to graduate. And I am in a ministry school, and that's what Highlands College is. And I am going for my bachelor's in family ministry, and then also my minor in pastoral care. So super excited for that. Was born and raised in Alabama. It's been my home for the longest time, but super excited to be out here in Iowa for this brief time that I am here. And yeah, it's been awesome.
So being from Alabama and growing up in the South, now that you've been a part of the Midwest for probably seven weeks, when you first got here, what was maybe shocking to you or surprising kind of in a way that you were like, oh, this is different than Alabama?
Yeah, I think the best thing is the land. Just it's flat, it's grassy. There's barely any trees. I love that personally. I grew up on a farm in Alabama, and we had a lot of trees, and I love trees, but farmland is something special to me. So it was awesome to see that.
Yeah, and like that's one thing I have noticed about Iowa, being from Illinois. There's not a lot of trees.
No.
And I know you won't. In the summer, it doesn't really get too windy, but in the fall and like the spring, it is insane how much wind is out in Iowa. Like it's crazy. Like you'll be walking through a field and like almost like keel over just because like from the wind, dude. It's wild. Culturally, is there any differences when you like when you got up here where you're like, wow, okay, what stereotypes did you hear about Midwesterners before coming up here?
I will be honest. I ignored all of them. Because back home, last year I had interned back home at my church.
Yeah.
And so this year when I was like, hey, I'm going to go do a little internship in Iowa, everyone kept on giving me grief because they're like, what's out in Iowa? There's nothing out there. And immediately when that happened, I was like, I'm just going to shut it all down in my mind, not going to listen to a thing. But it's been awesome. I love the people in Iowa. They're very genuine. In Alabama, there's a lot of genuine people, but there's a lot of pretense to keep up appearance versus just being who you are.
Yeah.
So it's been very nice to come out here.
Dude, let's go. I love that. Yeah, I think Iowa is this cultural island in a sense. Like people in Iowa just think kind of differently. And it's unique for sure. It's definitely a different experience for it's just like people are different, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's no, like, every state almost has like the MLB team, the NHL team, or an NBA team.
Iowa does not.
Iowa doesn't have any of that. So are you a Hawkeye fan? Are you a Cyclone fan? You know, and so it's just really.
What's the Cyclones?
Iowa State.
Oh. Okay.
Iowa State. Okay. And then there's like UNI and Drake, which are both Division I schools, but they're kind of like,
Alabama doesn't really have top sports other than college football.
Right.
So I get what you're
But you
saying.
got Bama though. You have University of Alabama.
It's okay. I don't want to own them.
Are you not a Bama fan?
No, I don't like football that much.
But if you had to root for
Auburn.
team, you're an Auburn guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
I have family that in their homes they have rooms that are completely crimson. They They have elephants everywhere. They have, like, every time they've gone to a game, it's the tickets, even the cups they drink from, everything. It's like a shrine. And that's no diss on them at all. But growing up seeing that, I was like, I can't really support a team like this, can I? Because, if we're Christian, then why would I support this? And two, it makes them really mad when Auburn wins. And so I support Auburn more.
100%. Totally get that. I think the Auburn, because the University of Alabama is in Tuscaloosa, right? Mm-hmm. And then Auburn is in Auburn. We actually did a college visit my freshman year. We were doing a band tour on Auburn's campus.
How was that?
It was actually pretty cool. They have this have you ever been to their campus before? You know how they have a pendant in their courtyard or something? You're not supposed to step on it. Yeah, I think all of the freshmen were jumping on it, just to make the tour guide bad or whatever. And we weren't, so it was really, really funny. But yeah, Auburn, cool. I think the Auburn Bama games are always exciting to hear about. They from an outsider.
Definitely from an outside, and somewhat from an inside too. Yeah. Because the only reason I watch it is to wait and see if Auburn wins, so I can text those family members. But the funniest thing about Auburn is everywhere in Alabama, they have different plots that they own, so that they can do different farming studies, different animal studies, because that's what Auburn's mostly known for is agriculture. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah,
it's crazy. So there is some similarities between Alabama having those two big school rivalries and Iowa as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of, so many people are like, oh, this state's better than this one's different completely. And while people may be different, I think ultimately the states are kind of the same.
They are a little similar. I will say that.
Very similar.
But I think crazy. Actually, I don't think Iowans are too. If you get a farmer Iowan, they're pretty similar to some deep south.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It's a unique. I've met a few, and I'm okay, I can see.
Even that one event you and me went to where they had watermelon, and the guy laid out a tarp, and he just threw the watermelon on the ground and smashed it, and it went everywhere, and everybody just started grabbing it from the ground. I was a little bit concerned about where I was at the moment. I've never seen that before in my life. It was.
I've heard of it, but seeing it, I've never seen it. Yeah. So, no, definitely unique experience for sure, 100%. But Alabama's super cool. So you're in ministry school, obviously. How did that happen? Was it always the desire to?
Oh no,
it wasn't. So there was a pivot. So what's the story between that? You never expected to have ministry as a part of your life, or right. What was the story? How did you get to Highlands College, which is a part of Church of the Highlands, right?
Yeah. Okay. So that's part of my testimony, which is really cool. Growing up, I lived in the South, of course, so there's the Bible Belt.
Right.
But I kind of just followed what my parents did. It wasn't really my own, and so I grew up in a lot of depression and anxiety, and for a few years of my life, when I go to sleep, there was a demon in my sleep, and so I couldn't get sleep. And so it got to a point when I was 15 that I was like, God, I'm about to go to this camp, and before I go, if you at all want to talk to me, and if you at all want me to stay here, you got to speak to me, or else after this camp, I'm just going to end it all. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't want to go to the camp, but my mom forced me to. Mm-hmm. And so went to the camp, and the first night, I didn't say a thing. I was really good at hiding stuff. And I was acting like everything was okay. But at the end of every night at this camp, there was a small group, and the small group leader came and got me. And he's like, Noah, stick back for a little bit. And I said, okay. And I immediately was like, oh man, what did I do to get caught? I must have messed up somewhere. And so he looked at me, he said, Noah, I don't know why, but God wanted me to tell you that he loves you and that he has a plan for you, and he's so excited you're here. And if you at all ever need to come and talk to me about something, then I'm here for you no matter what time it is. And that's really powerful, but I discounted it. I was like, he was trained to say that. Mm-hmm. He's going to say that to everyone in the small group. And then the next night happened, and he did the same exact thing, and he didn't do it for another student. And I was like, nah, he's still doing the thing. He's still
following the script.
Then the third night he did it, and then the fourth night he did it. And then the fifth night I was in my bed about 2 o'clock, And I said, I'm just so tired of everything. Like, I'm not able to sleep. I have no peace. I have no joy. And I went to his cabin. I started banging on the door, and he didn't answer. But after a little bit, he came, and he prayed with me, and I told him my story. And that night when I went to sleep, there was no demon in my sleep. I was able to have joy. I was able to have peace, which is really crazy. And before this, my life was devoted to sports because I wanted to become a professional soccer player. And I had the opportunity to almost be on a college team. Was trying out, was doing everything I should. And what's really amazing is after that, the college that I was talking with, they're like, hey, we found this other player that we really love more. And so we're sad to say that, like, there's no way you could come and be a part of this team unless you paid to be a part of this team.
Right.
And I don't have the
Like
finances for that.
Almost.
I know.
What school was it?
University of Mobile.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's go.
I was really close with some of the coaches there.
Yeah.
But this guy was a little bit older than me, and he was from a foreign country.
Yep.
So he was cheaper, and they could give him a full ride scholarship away from the soccer fund. So he came and just played for free, pretty much, which is awesome.
Wow.
But that happened, and all the doors closed down on me for anything else soccer related.
Yeah.
So like the coaches that did believe in me and pushed me, because I started later in my life with soccer, and everybody else around me started when they were like 8.
Yep.
I started when I was 13. And so all the doors were shut, and then I heard about this summer camp near me, and my mom's like, you should go and do that. And I said, I don't want to do that, Mom. But went to the summer camp, and I served people, and I got to tell people that Jesus loves them. And I got to be there to mentor and love on people. And that's when I knew, I was like, I can't be the same. Like, I don't want anyone else to ever go through what I did. And so, that's how. There's a lot more steps to it than that, but that's what started the journey towards Highlands College.
Right. And so Highlands College appears on your radar via what? Social media? Was it Instagram? Was it a conversation? What was it?
It was, they put a campus near where I lived, near Mobile.
Okay.
And what's really cool is that we started attending, and it was a really awesome campus. It still is. Wait,
it's not good anymore.
It's not good anymore.
It's just
It's gone to crap since I've left. I don't like any of it. No, I'm kidding. But my mom, one day while she was there and I was at camp, she saw a promo for it, and she said, "Hey, you need to go to Highlands College." And I said, "I don't want to do that." There's a lot of this story that I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for my mom. So I love my mom.
Yeah, that's great.
But I ended up doing an internship at the camp that I started that summer.
Cool.
And I ended up serving at the camp for like 5 years in the summers / interning. And so I was interning, and all of a sudden I got this email because my mom kept on calling me and being like, you really need to go check out this college. And I said, no, I don't need to. I'm fine where I am. And I got this email, and it said, thank you for confirming your preview day with us. We're so excited you're going to be joining us. So my mom signed me up without talking to me. And she's like, your dad got off of work and everything, you're going. And I said, I don't want to. And so ended up going.
Wow.
And I told myself, no matter what happens, I'm not joining this, because I had everything planned out. I was going to join that camp full time. I already knew who I was going to marry. Me and my girlfriend had been dating for like 6 months, a year at that point. And so I was like, I'm settled. I don't want to do any of this. And I said, nothing you can say, God, will ever change my mind. And so went to the chapel, and the chapel was about obedience, and delayed obedience is not obedience, it's hesitancy. And hesitancy is not what God desires, but an obedient heart. And so the chapel kind of railed me a little bit. Because through the whole trip I saw things, I was like, I could learn from this, I could be better from this, and God was really pulling me towards it. And so then after the chapel, I was like, I got to do it. And so went back that night. So it's about 3 hours from where I live. And so we got back, and I filed the paperwork, and the rest is history.
Wow. It's a crazy story. So you went in with this idea of like, no. And it was boom. Chapel moment. Preview days. Yeah, preview days. Wow. That's sick. And so you fill out this application, you take this kind of step into this whole new path.
Oh yeah.
That you weren't expecting. And so was there a lot of excitement then going into that freshman year, or was it like, all right, like, let's see, like what was that first year like once you finally, because it's one thing to file the paperwork and say I'm going here. It's another thing to pack up the car and go.
Oh, for sure.
And so what was that like when it was like, okay, I have this idea of what I was supposed to do, and now I'm completely switched.
Yep.
And then I'm actually going to go do it.
Yep.
What was that like?
So before I even had gone to Highlands College, I had done community college. I was dual enrolled while I was still in high school. And so I had enough credits to go to Troy almost. I almost graduated with my associates when I graduated high school. So when I did the internship and everything, I had built up a lot of credits. And so I'd already done college before. And so when I went, I was kind of part of the older crowd with the freshmen. And so I was still excited. I still yearned a lot for the things of learning, and I was excited for the new city, new friends. But compared to all of the other freshmen, I wasn't really as excited because there's a lot of freshmen that were like doing parties. It's a Christian college. It's not really parties. They're just like, we're going to watch a movie. I'll come on over. And I was just in my room either asleep or spending time with the friends in my apartment. So it was really awesome. I was really excited for it. And what was really interesting is going in, before you go in, or the way it used to be, I don't know how it is now because they've changed a lot, you didn't select your major. You waited a couple months in, and they had a class where you looked at all of the majors, and then you selected. So
they give you like a preview, and then you choose from them. And is every major at Highlands ministry specific in a way?
So majors, yes.
Yeah.
Minors, we now have a business minor. So that's really cool. So now you can graduate with, let's say, a major in student ministry, but you have a business minor. So let's say you do get a position at a church that's part-time for student ministry. Well, you have that business minor where you could start your own business.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Interesting. So what major did you end up choosing and taking kind of steps toward once you got there?
So I chose family ministry, which is like a mixture between kids ministry and all the way up till families' adult ages. So it's been really awesome. I chose that one because a vision of mine for the longest time has been to open up an orphanage. Don't know when, don't know how, but I was praying with God one day, and he showed me a vision of an orphanage and these kids running towards me, and he said, you're going to show them my love. And so that was on my heart. And so it was either a decision between family ministry or between the global ministry, which is like outreach. And so I spoke with the people in charge of those things, and I was like, this is the vision I had. What do you think will best prepare me for this? And they said, wherever you go, God will bless you. And I was like, that's not answering the question at all. You need to give me, I need to go from point A to point B. Come on. But I remember going to, because they had like preview classes you could go to.
Right. You get a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So they have the class where they tell you everything, and then one day they have like a preview class.
Interesting.
So if you've marked interest in those things,
then they
let you attend the class.
Cool.
And I remember attending the class, and I don't even remember what it was, but I started like bawling in my chair when I was in the family ministry.
Really?
And so,
in like a lecture or?
In a lecture. I don't remember.
Can't say I've ever cried during a lecture.
We were talking about. Don't know how it came up, but we were talking about like the state of our generation and Gen Alpha that's coming up.
Yeah.
And I remember just bawling, and I was like, okay, this is it, I guess. Because I don't really cry a lot, so when I do cry, that's God trying to nudge me in a direction. So that's why I chose that. And then before it was an associate's program, but now it's a bachelor's. And so I chose my major still to stick the same, but my associate's now is pastoral care.
Cool. Yeah, so going to, because I think there's like Christian colleges, obviously, but you're at like a ministry school.
Right.
A ministry school. Have you noticed anything that like, what's a pet peeve for you going to a ministry school? I mean, you're surrounded by believers all the time, 24/7. What is a pet peeve for you, out of curiosity?
For like people that are trying to join?
Either people or just something about the college. Because I go to William Penn, which is a Quaker school, private Christian university, whatever. at Penn, the Christian identity or Quaker, it has roots in it, but the idea of living a life. For instance, dorms aren't really, the RAs don't regulate whether guys or girls are in, like in Elks Hall specifically where I'm at. They don't care. Other schools, for instance, Indiana Wesleyan, a beautiful campus. Their dorms are regulated, and they have like curfew times and things like that. And so, same thing with like an Olivet, Nazarene, and some of these other schools. But a ministry-specific school, what is that kind of like? I assume there's probably a little bit more restrictions on things and stuff like that.
There definitely is. We have a curfew as well. You have to be, I think it's in the school, like in your room by 12.
In your room
By 12.
Wow, that's crazy.
And if you are spending the night somewhere or you won't be there that night, you have to fill out a form like 3 days in advance. So it doesn't matter if you've had like a family emergency. Like if you know your RA, you can call them and be like, hey,
I got this
like,
going on.
This just came up. I'm so sorry. Just sent the form to you. And they'll hear you out. But if you have no communication and you do it the night before, they're like, you can't be doing this, and that's an infraction.
Dang.
So it's pretty strict, which is good though, because we have a lot of people that used to what it was when I first came in. We had some high schoolers graduating that came, but there was a good mixture of high schoolers and then people that had experienced a little bit of life in their like early 20s that had come. But now, because we have the bachelors and we're accredited, it's predominantly high schoolers, which is not bad at all. It fills my heart with joy because it's showing me that our generation is not only hungry to do this work, but they're also passionate about what the Lord wants. And so that's really awesome. But a lot of the freshmen have a lot of growing to do in their first semester.
18-year-olds.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
But I would say one of my pet peeves since being there.
I'm asking you. I know I'm asking you in the hot water.
No.
Here we go.
It's good.
All your friends are gonna see this, and they're gonna be like,
No,
maybe.
they probably.
They probably.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll find out. They can comment.
They can comment. But no, my pet peeve would be don't let the college define what you're around, because we are in ministry school, but God, before we even came to a ministry school, gave us Matthew 28:18-20. Go therefore into all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And so when I first joined, I was just stuck kind of around the bubble of Highlands College, but I really needed a job. And so I got a job at Cheesecake Factory. And when I did, my whole world kind of exploded because I was actually interacting with non-believers. And I was actually able to speak words of life and do ministry.
Yeah.
And doing ministry in your church is great. Like we need that.
Yeah.
But it's not going out there and immediately making disciples. Yeah. It's like steadiness of making disciples, but God said go to all corners of the world,
right?
Not just this one little circle. So my pet peeve would, don't stay in the Highlands College area. Go out in Birmingham. Do some ministry. If you see a homeless man, pray for him.
Yeah, actually go out and do it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of... I totally get that. When I was trying to choose a college initially, I was looking for the trade program I wanted, ministry teaching. I also wanted athletics. Well, no school has all three.
Oh, no.
No school has all three.
No.
It's two drastic extremes, and then also having athletics, and so you could get two. You could either get the religion in the running, or the running in the trade.
Yeah.
And so, the only door that was open was the running in the trade, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to put, kind of this idea of pastoring and stuff on hold. Not at all.
No.
I think the 2 years I was at Hawkeye Community College, I did more ministry work in those 2 years than I had done within my church in the last 8.
Come on.
And so it was crazy, and so I totally get that. Just always curious. I always like people who have different college experiences, because the college experience, I've seen the community college side of things, and I've seen now like the 4-year university side of things, albeit it is a private Christian college that I go to, but it really isn't.
Yeah.
I guess it is in nature, but in practice now. like you have to take a Quaker values class, but beyond that, there's no chapel or any other unique requirements. So,
which is such a shame, because like that's the place where you could do so much building up of the next generation.
It is, and there is a tear on. I think it then comes down to like the students. So like as students, obviously, we try to push the movement of the spirit within the campus,
Right.
And there's times it's awesome and super baller when we do like our own worship nights on campus. It's pretty sweet and it's pretty cool to see when students lead stuff. It's awesome. I think sometimes when you try to do, for instance, I went to a private Christian high school, and it was like chapels really didn't work.
Oh no.
And it's not because they didn't work because the school was doing it wrong. It's just because not everyone was on the same page.
Right.
Like there was a lot of staff who just wasn't there for like Christ first, and so it creates this like tear within the school itself when you have teachers who really try to push that forward and is like, I care about the relationship with my students and Christ. You have others who that's such a secondary thing, and so also too the Bible starts to become a textbook,
right, to
a lot of those kids who start in pre-K and are at the same school till 12th grade.
Yep.
And so it becomes this textbook. So it's more valuable. It's more tradition rather than, hey, there's real experience to be had here. And so yeah, I've seen both ends of the spectrum, because I don't doubt there's probably people who've gone to Highlands and they leave after 3 months.
Oh, 100%.
And they just like dip, and it's like, and then you see their Instagram and it's like, oh, they're doing that now,
Not all of them.
Not all, but you get a few who just, you're like, oh, there they go.
Yep.
And so, I mean, same thing with any university or college. Yeah. You'll see people who, don't make it through. And I think some of them don't make it through because they just give up rather than actually persevere through. But that's my witnessing of it.
Preach, Dart, preach.
Oh, get out of here. But yeah, so you're studying ministry at Highlands, and now you're out here in Iowa with the Bridge. If for all you fans out here, we are on summer staff at the Bridge Church in Ottumwa, Iowa. So if you want to check them out, see what it's all about, bridgechurch.cc. It's pretty cool. You should check it out. Wonderful little church out in the middle of Iowa. So, but anyway, so now you're here, and we've been hanging out now for probably 5-6 weeks, something like that. So, how did you find out about Iowa? Like, how did you find out about this experience specifically? Because I get there's like a few people on staff here who have some connections. Was it through those staff that you found out about it, or someone reached out to you? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, so I took a map and I randomly placed my finger on a state.
No way.
I'm kidding. No, it's not.
I was about to say no way. You were like, let me go to Iowa.
Iowa. No.
I love Iowa.
I like me some corn. No, I don't. I actually don't like corn.
Get out of here. That's not true.
That is true. I hate corn.
What kind?
Yes.
You can't say yes. You got all the way from just like some classic like barbecue sweet corn, and then you got like eliotes. So
I don't like it.
You don't like that it gets not. That's if you eat it off the cob. If you eat it out the cup,
I just don't like it. Then
we gotta get
the
you
only
some
popcorn
eliotes.
I like.
Oh, you said popcorn.
I know. I was getting to that. Only reason I like popcorn is because it's popcorn, not because it's corn.
Yeah, but popcorn gets in your teeth.
It does. I have to bite the bullet with that one.
We need to get you some eliotes.
Okay.
Elotes? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not Hispanic.
If it's free, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's like a cup of corn, and they got like tahini.
Oh, that does sound good.
Dude, I'm telling you.
You got me on tahini already.
Dude, it's going to change your life. We'll find some, and then follow me on Instagram if you want to see his reaction to it. Bucket@Billy. Follow me there. Anyway.
It's pretty nice Instagram
what did I say?
Oh, how did I get here?
Yeah. So how the heck did you end up here? Who networked you to this little joint?
So, one of my good friends, Isaiah McMillan, he's here on staff.
Got it.
And he graduated, and we were part of the same class. And so, when our class was about to graduate, we were faced with the choices like, hey, you can graduate or you can stay on to the bachelor's. If you stay on to the bachelor's, you'll get a super discounted, like, bachelor's degree. And he's worship, so you really don't need that. You just need experience for worship.
Yep.
Like you can get into a little bit more of theoretical worship and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like a music specific major where you're learning music theory, and then you learn how to actually write stuff beyond. Yeah.
But he doesn't need that. He knew exactly what he needed. And so Logan Teague from Highlands was already out here, and he was looking at churches, and so he joined the Bridge. And so I try to keep in contact with him because he's a really good friend of mine, and I love him very dearly. And we were playing games one night, and he's like, "What are you doing for the summer?" And I was like, "I guess I'll just intern at my church here again. I don't know." And he's like, "Why don't you come to Iowa?" And I was like, Don't just say that. Tell me more. What are you doing? And so he told me more, and I was hooked because not only is it ministry outside of Alabama, which I was born and raised in Alabama.
It's different when you go out of state.
It's different.
It's different.
And I need that experience, especially because the likelihood of me being placed in a church in Alabama is very low. And so I was like, okay, let me come out here, and the internship has just blown my mind. Like, it's completely different from what we did at my church. It's been more fulfilling in the sense that I feel like, more hands-on approach to ministry. And so it's been awesome to be out here. And I'm staying with Isaiah, which is another plus. So.
Right. Staying with a homie. In a new environment, new experience.
Yep.
New city.
It's a nice
town.
City. I mean, I don't know.
It's small town Iowa.
It's small town.
Small town Iowa.
It feels
some
like
big city boys.
It feels like if you took small town Alabama and Birmingham, Alabama, and mixed it together. That's what it feels like.
In a way. I don't know. I've never been to Birmingham, so.
Well, that's about to change.
It will. I'm heading to Motion Conference, so that'd be cool. I'm somewhat excited for it. It'll be a cool experience, I think. So I'll get the experience and at least go to one of them. At least be like, okay, what are they doing out here? What's going on? Why is there 15,000 people here?
It's terrifying.
98% of them won't change at all.
Wow.
They'll cry. I would love to. I've wanted to do a study on that.
Yeah.
I want to do a study on. I would love to do it on a conference that I'm a part of, and interview students. Take so if you have 1,000, take at least send out a survey to them, and say, create a scale. Did you experience blah blah? What changes do you want to make? And then interview them. Only 2 months after, and interview them and see where, have you actually changed? Did you actually do that? Because I want to get the numbers on it. And there might be a study out there. Yeah. I don't know. I really want to know that because I think it's a powerful teaching point.
Yeah.
Because you hear a lot of people talk about the emotional high that you get in a conference setting.
Yep.
But what I've noticed is any speaker who ends a conference always ends with this emotionally powerful moment. It's always there's this emphasis on emotion, not emphasis on motion, but emotion. Everyone's just woo! They're doing the wave. It's you need a change. Everyone's
let's do this.
But I've noticed, I wonder what it would look like if someone just got up there and just preached some straightforward, just real
next steps. This is what you got to do.
Yeah, but I mean, I think everyone hits the next step, but it's don't give them the emotional high at all.
Give them the wrath of God.
I'm not saying
what, you're not?
No,
that's awesome. Wrath of God needs to be taught.
Well, I saw a quote today, and it was John MacArthur, and he was someone was well, that's not just. And he was you don't want justice, because if we had justice, we'd all be in hell.
Oh, yeah.
He's you want grace.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
come on.
I was damn, that's heat. But what would it look like if someone got up behind the pulpit, and it was just straightforward teaching of here's the reality, here's what you need to do, let's sing a song and go home.
Yeah.
You've learned what you need to learn. Now, obviously, it's not going to happen.
No.
I think even if I was still speaking, you want to tap into the emotions because that's when they're going to be most open and vulnerable. But I've seen so much more emotional manipulation rather than spiritual teaching.
Yep. I am so glad you brought this up because this is a conversation I've had with a lot of my friends at Highlands. And it's been more fulfilling. And it's not to say anything bad about the American church.
Oh, 100%.
We love the church, But it has become apparent that the American church is event-based, not discipleship-based. And so it's really hard nowadays because I just recently went on a mission trip to Moldova, and it was fantastic to be there. And they had events going on, but they were so close. Like, I walked in, and the guys I did get to know, they were either my same age or a little bit younger than me. Like, they came right next up to me, and they hugged me, and they were just standing next to me, and I was like, they're so close to me, like, so passionate. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get what this is about. And they're like, well, our student pastor said, we need to be near people that have a further journey than us, so we want to be near you.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
it's
What an honor.
it's an honor, but also at the same time, I'm like,
pressure.
stop,
That's
please.
some pressure right there.
That's pressure.
That's pressure.
You're telling me.
Pressure's real.
But America has become so dependent upon events, emotional highs, and it's become a roller coaster instead of consistency. And that's where we're losing not only a lot of youth, but we're losing a lot of faith because we're sitting here in this lull and we're like, I'm not feeling the emotional pull. Then God's not there, which is false because God is always there. So it's something that's been a burden on my heart. I really hope that we're the generation that sparks that change because, yes, events are awesome to have, but I think once we have the consistent discipleship, and it's not just about like, come to this event and then you'll be discipled, but like, hey, how was your soccer game? Hey, can I come watch your soccer game? Just like that, once we hit that, we're going to have such a stronger generation of faith than we've ever had before.
So the cure to the sickness that is a lack of actual discipleship is just real discipleship. Interesting.
I would agree with that. I think the thing that is so often the obstacle between that is here in America, we have so much luxury and so much like given to us. We have so much freedom. We have so much everything that it's become harder to reach either the students or the pastors are so busy they can't reach the students. There's this imbalance that they can't reach. And it's a lot of times due to, like, number one, you don't have enough pastors anymore. There's more youth than there are pastors, and nobody's reaching out, or they're not either being effective in it, or they can't be effective because they don't know how to communicate with them. Versus, like, when I was in Moldova, like, after church, the youth pastor would get on the stage, and he'd be like, okay, everyone else go home. My students stay here. And he'd be like, let's go eat lunch. Let's go. Just all of us. And now he wouldn't pay for it because he made a joke one time. He's like, I can't pay for all of you, but I'd like to eat with y'all.
Right.
And so practical discipleship is something that we desperately need everywhere around the world.
Oh, 100%. We need more this, older to younger investment for sure. One thing I have started to notice and take a step back, it is obviously we're both, I think, very heavily youth orientated. And that's where we, I think, have the most impact right now. And one thing I have noticed is obviously the events and the emotional things, but this idea, everyone seems to be looking for title instead of, everyone, we have these like latchkey leaders where it's like people who want a platform but have never been in a position or a season where they're just like, here, you're doing basic things. You're not teaching the sermon, but you're going to make sure everything runs. There's just behind the scenes work. And so I've noticed a lot of like everyone wants title and position rather than true relational investment that has no worldly value in the eyes of other people. I think it's an interesting thing. Like everyone, what I've noticed is everyone wants to be a traveling pastor
because they want the attention and approval.
Yeah, and also like teaching is difficult, and not everyone is equipped to teach, obviously. But everyone, if there was one part of the service you would want to do,
I want to be on that stage.
I want the 30, 40 minutes of undivided attention that they can hear me talk. And it's like, all right. We got so many people who I think want to hold a mic, but they won't hold the hands of their friends around them when they're struggling.
Bars.
And it's like, wow.
Who told you that one? Did you just come up with that?
it's just
That's a Dart original.
Yeah,
Dart original.
That's a Dart OG right there. I'll probably forget it, so I'll have to re-listen to the recording. Yeah, no, there's this heavy weight on experience in event. Not to say that events are bad. Events are a great way to give people the time and structure, but we see this lack of investment, but we also see when it becomes too rigid, or when you become too rigid, like if you go to like more like your Catholic tradition or your Orthodox, you can fall into the pitfall of this is just tradition and this is what we do.
Oh, 100%.
Because you see more I think in the Protestant side of like, well, I'm not really into this, so I'm going to like deconstruct in a way and like, well, I don't really need the church, but Jesus is this cool guy who has some good morals. Where in the Catholic Church, you'll have someone who's like, oh, Jesus is cool, and I go to Mass on Sunday because that's what we've done. Mm-hmm. And I take the Eucharist because that's the part of the service we do it. You know, and then there's this like apathy there's this stagnicity within the unbeliever because they're not like doing any investment. Mm-hmm. It's just like, this has become tradition. And that happens on the other side too. Yeah. But I think more often in the Protestant side, it manifests itself as like, I'm a new age spiritual person.
Look how cool I can be.
Right. There's like this unique way. I think it's an interesting design.
There's a study that's come out, speaking about like Catholic or Orthodox. There was a study that came out in, I don't remember the name of it, but it was talking about the percentage of youth in Russia that no longer believe in Orthodoxy. And it was like
interesting.
Over 70% don't believe. So...
Let's see if we can find. It's interesting to look at studies. I do try to do. I think that's another thing that we fail at is we've become. I'm trying to think of how to word this.
You got this.
We only read the headline. It's like, let me just get like the. Like, why would I read the book when I can have someone else read it for me and just give me the spark notes? And they become spark notes when it comes to important, valuable information. Yeah. And it's been interesting to watch. And people don't read things anymore or take like the full context of stuff.
They don't read the fine print.
Yeah, they don't read the fine print. We're like a very surface level. And there's always times like I always like. I think everyone wants a cheat code, right?
Oh,
everyone wants a cheat code, but.
Man, when I'm taking those tests, I'm like, oh,
dude, everyone wants it. Everyone wants it, but
sometimes I pray to God. I'm like, God, can you just like show me an image of the right answer while I'm taking this test? And he never has.
No, because he's just like, you should study. Yeah. Let's look at like percentage of youth that
are Christian in Russia.
I spelled Christian wrong. We'll pull it up for the homies still a Christian in Russia. Let's see what we got here. While the majority of, let's make this bigger for the people at home so they can see it a little bit more. While the majority of Russians identify as Orthodox Christian, there's a decline in Christian identification. No, I don't want you to explain it. I know what I'm reading. Even this is AI. Okay, here we go. In 2022, people identify as Orthodox Christian, while 5% is Muslim. 15 reporting have had no religious. Zoomers. What is a Zoomer?
I don't know.
What is a Zoomer?
I don't know.
So let's see.
But the study, I don't remember what it was, that I saw was when the war with Ukraine started. That's when the decline started happening. Because they actually are starting to see things and they're like, oh, maybe what I believe isn't true.
Yeah, maybe. And shout out to Orthodox practice. I have no problem with it. Like, it's great. I think there's too much infighting in the Christian faith for some reason, and it makes no sense.
Are you a non-denominational?
That's not a real thing.
I'm a Baptist. I'm going to fight you right now.
It's not. I think there's like too much of that. When it's like you can definitely compartmentalize parts of it. Like there's parts of the Catholic tradition, I could like kind of scratch my head at it and go, well, maybe I don't see eye to eye with that, but you're not condemned for. No one has perfect theology, so it opens up this discussion, right?
You don't, Dart?
No, Lord, no. I've learned very quickly the only thing I am sure in is my uncertainty.
Amen.
And so, like, I love going into conversations like maybe I'm wrong. Like, if we could have, I hate those stupid one person in the room of 30, whatever. Like Christian in a room of atheists, or the Jubilee ones where they have.
Oh, I know exactly.
I hate those because everyone has this like. They already when you have the one person at the table and you have everyone rush in, there's no point in dialogue because there's already super high tensions
and there's a mob already.
And they never introduce themselves and shake their hand. They never introduce themselves. They find out their name, but they never introduce themselves. And that's. But neither side goes in with the idea of maybe I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. So what can I learn? It's always my view is the right. I can't stand those videos, dude.
I think my favorite one was.
I'm gonna find one.
Oh, what was it?
Those Jubilee ones,
those
right?
Jubilee
Let's see if we can find one.
PewDiePie used to do a lot of reaction videos to them.
Really?
Yeah, it was funny.
The one that's popular right now.
Oh, Jordan Peterson did?
Is this one, which I was looking at this, and it's Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists.
Holy moly!
Now, what's interesting is apparently everyone in here was prompted as this is Christian in the room with 20 atheists.
Jordan Peterson isn't a Christian.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why would they? So they brought him in here. So there's the clip, and this is the clip that's went viral. And if you want to watch it, but like, I'll pull this up here. Like, mute this. We'll mute this ad.
Get that
and
ad
we
out
will.
of here.
We
need monetization out of this world.
No, I'm okay with ads. Ads are fine. Let's get this.
I'm too impatient. I gotta admit.
No. Oh, they can hear that.
They can.
Yeah, we're gonna mute that. There we go. But do we skip the ad here? Like,
you say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
Don't be a smartass.
Either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
You're really.
So you can see just the level of intensity between both these people, and there's no there's. So I've never actually watched this, but maybe there's some good dialogue in it. I could be wrong. So I actually didn't show any of that.
Deity
okay.
Lono, L-O-N-O.
I don't know anything about the Polynesian deity Lono.
So
where's like
you're rejecting something.
Where's like the intense?
Some way. So it's like I don't necessarily think that we can.
This
take from
actually
the
just
Bible
looked pretty
and say that,
mellow,
like,
but you know what I'm talking about. There's just
she
some.
looks chill.
And maybe we're wrong. There's definitely like the intense. Yeah.
Oh,
this
there
is,
he is.
Hash it out, but that'll do for the time we have.
Okay. Do Catholics attend to Mary?
So there's like you can just
Look at his face.
look at his face.
Look at his face.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's just there is this unique intensity. Yeah. I hate these videos.
Oh, yeah.
There's probably some good information. I haven't watched the whole thing, and I'll make an attempt to watch the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Actually do the research. But in the clips that are popular, it's unfortunate. I think they actually changed the title. At one point, it was like
one Christian
versus 20 atheists. And Jordan Peterson, I think, has an idea of Christ and who he is as a figure. But Christian, I don't know if I would give it to him.
Wesley Huff, who I love, he's talking about this when he was on, I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how Jordan Peterson has a historical idea of who Jesus is, but not a relational idea.
Yeah, he's okay with like Jesus as a figure within Christianity,
right? And
if Christianity
he looks
was
up to him, but he's not serving,
not
him.
not following him,
which is so interesting. He's so close. I pray he does become a Christian, not because of like, oh, look at this, we have another big guy who's a Christian. That was an excellent episode.
This just came out 6 hours ago.
Oh, this is a new one?
Hold on. This just came out 6 hours ago. The Return of Dr. Jordan Peterson.
He's been on there once before. It was great.
Interesting.
I like George Janko. He's not a polished Christian. He's very rough,
He's fine, yeah.
which is great, especially if he has...
His heart's there.
Yeah, his heart's there, and especially if you have people on there for the first time listening to it, it's really great because he's kind of close to where they are, but he's a little bit further. So he's pulling people towards the way, which is awesome.
It's interesting to see that there's this rise, and maybe it's just because we consume Christian content, but like I just saw a clip yesterday of Ninja.
Giving a devotional.
Ninja giving a devotional, and it's like, what's going on here? And you see all these then you see like people like Jelly Roll, who has just done a song with Brandon Lake.
Oh yeah,
and
I've not heard that song yet.
Hard Fought Hollywood. It's a great song.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are there's some gripes with Brandon Lake right now.
Look at the viewership for the Joe Rogan Wes Huff.
Yeah, let's look at the views of that. Let me pull it up.
Because it's crazy.
Joe Rogan podcast. Let's see if we can find it. Let's go to his YouTube. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's just go to his YouTube.
Oh, Bernie Sanders. Oh.
You have Bernie Sanders on there?
Yes.
Okay, let's pull this up.
That's got
Let's
it.
go to his videos.
He's really built.
We had Oliver Anthony back on again.
Oh, that's awesome. It's more recent.
No, it was probably about a year. No,
No, it's not a year ago.
it wasn't a year.
Guy Fieri.
What?
Love Hawkeye.
He had Ilya Taporia. Let's go.
That's awesome.
Dog. Absolute dog right now. I don't like him, but he's a dog. It's gotta be...
It couldn't have been taken down, could it?
No. It's such a... He had Antonio Brown on 4 months ago.
Bill
Elon
Murray.
back on again. Magnus Carlsen.
Adam Curry. Man, he's having everyone on. I
He does
can't wait
one-
to see
He does one like every day.
Yeah, I can't wait to see when he has Elmo on. That's going to be fun. There it is.
Yeah, 7.1 million views. Really good viewership.
It's got...
It's a great episode if you haven't watched it. It's magnificent. Wesley Huff is such a great mind.
Yeah. And the thing that's fascinating is the video is right next to it. You have Mel Gibson, who's very well known, and it had 9 million views. And right next to it was Mark Zuckerberg with like 11 million. So he's up there with those people, which is fascinating.
Cat Williams.
Oh, Cat Williams. J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance. Politics. Yeah. Politics.
I love Tucker Carlson. He's pretty cool.
He's not bad.
Yeah.
He's all right. I think he's too politically inclined.
Oh yeah, 100%. Anyone in media
Then,
is.
like, he claims Jesus, and I think he believes in Jesus, but the extent to which he follows Jesus, I think, is like questionable. Just like I think there's too many political beliefs held, and that's a huge thing I've noticed. It's like this idea. I'm kind of curious. Going to a ministry school, you're in Alabama, which voted
pretty
red.
Republican, yeah.
Voted red. You're in the Bible Belt. Like, what do you see when it comes to? There's a big thing now of like politics and religion.
Oh yeah.
And how do Christians navigate this political landscape?
It's tough.
And then how do we deal with the whole mess of political issues while saying I follow Jesus?
Yeah. It's tough because now we've gotten to the point where our political ideas are our identity as well.
I've seen
not
that
just
too.
Christ.
Yeah.
And so for me, whenever I vote, I don't just vote because it's Republican. I actually look at what the person believes. And more recently, it's become Republicans are a lot more closer to what biblical...
Oh, it's Noah. And we're back.
Nice. I have
Dude,
no
that's
idea.
gonna be hilarious in the recording.
I have no
That's
idea
great.
where that stopped.
That's that was Noah Villarreal. If you're watching this, Noah V kicked off this show and he called me, and it's crazy. He started off season 1, season 2. We're starting off with a Noah.
Perfect.
Starting off with a Noah too.
Hey,
So
you got to keep it up. Season 3.
We
You
shoulda-
gotta start with a Noah.
we should have gotten him in here.
Yeah, we should have. It's okay. I don't know where it cut it out. So, do you just want me to start back at the beginning?
I think you were saying you look more. You're saying that the Republican side, in your view, leans a little bit more toward biblical belief.
I wouldn't say 100%.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they are very human and they're very broken.
Oh, yeah.
But there's certain things that for me, I 100% want to stand behind. And number one, that's pro-life. So like anything against abortion, anything that is going to like make it to where the sanctity of life is threatened. And more recently, the Democrats take a stand against that and they're pro-choice. And so, it's really hard for me personally because I'm very passionate about like children. Like I want to make sure they're protected. I want to make sure that unlike me, they have a life where they don't have to go through what I did, that they can know and experience Christ well before those things happen.
Right.
And so one of my professors, we were having a conversation one day and she's like, yeah, I just can't stand people that are Republican. And I was like, oh, okay. But the reason why she said that is because she went to a church in Georgia and her parents had voted Democratic. And so she was ostracized at the church, which I get that. But she's like, yeah, I vote Democrat every year. And I'm like, you can't just do that because these people are saying that the precious lives that we've been entrusted with to nurture and to help families grow in the ways of discipleship, they're being taken out before they can even start. And it's so sad. So like, it took me a while because I was hurt because I thought everyone thought the same as me, which is so ignorant of me.
Right.
But it kind of lowered my mental value of her in the sense of like, man, I don't know if I should listen to everything you say now. But I'm over that now. And it's so hard because so many different battles are fought and they're pointless. But the ultimate battle is, are we reaching people for Christ and are we pointing people in the way of Christ? And so Highlands is very interesting because they keep politics out of everything. Like they don't mention it at all because Birmingham is very Democratic and Montgomery is very Democratic, but
Right.
everywhere else
Your
in Alabama,
cities, urban cities, yeah.
they're red. So it's kind of hard to navigate that. But in Iowa, I've had conversations about politics, and it's gotten a lot better. Like, even when I'm like, oh, I really don't like that Republican person, they're like, yeah, he's all right, but he's better than Democrat. It's like, oh, okay, I appreciate that. But yeah, it takes a lot of patience because nowadays people don't have patience. And it takes a lot of grace because even if you don't agree on the issue, you still have to remember this is my brother and sister in Christ because we're united by the blood of the Lamb, not by our political ideals.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just tough waters to tread.
100%. It's definitely a unique place to travel through, especially when, it's such an interesting thing, and I've had to do a ton of self-navigation myself with the, because I'm pretty politically indifferent.
Yeah.
And so the pro-life or pro-choice argument is actually really low on the totem pole for me when it comes to who I vote for.
Oh, yeah.
Not because I don't think the issue is like prevalent. For me, honestly, it's just I think it's used more now as a ploy to get the vote of someone rather than actually think about the issue.
Right.
And both sides, I think, are susceptible. I think there's this growing trend on the right-leaning side to say, pro-life at birth, but when it comes to supporting those who are lower on the totem pole, they want the cuts made.
Oh, yeah.
For those security net systems. Where on the other side you have the pro-choice argument, which has this growing value to say, like, I won't even consider the other side unless you know,
They do
if
exactly
if
what
they
I do.
think this way. And so
Yeah.
there's both ends of the spectrum where it's like there's not a care for the life at all, and then there's so much care for the life, but only initially,
Right.
which is disappointing. And I think I think one of the most humbling experiences I had was I'm at a university, and liberal arts universities are obviously more blue leaning or left leaning than in a landscape somewhere else. And we were talking about abortion, and I said, to be honest, I think most people would agree that the idea that no one wants it to be the first choice. Like, no one wants it to be the first choice. Like, I don't think anyone's out there like, yes, I can't wait to like get like.
Well, hang on. You never know. There might
know,
be that one person.
Right, but that I think the people who are in that category, who are like, yes, I love abortions and I want to get one, that's a whole new school of thought that's really unique and kind of scary in a sense, where it's like, I think Hillary Clinton's quoted saying abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. And so there's like this idea of like, I agree with the rarity part. Yes, like I don't want someone going out and is like, woo, you know. But at the same time, I think we could converge on the point where it's like, how can we do better at, number one, preventing the unplanned pregnancies? And I know obviously from our Christian worldview, there's a solution to that. We're like, hey, we're going to wait till we're in a position to consider that choice.
And not even just that, like the church rallying behind people, like if something unfortunate does happen.
100%. Like the church to be this motive of like, hey, like let's support you, let's get you connected. And so I hate that for some people I meet, that's the only thing they choose when it comes to the voting process. Not to say that it's not a prevalent issue, and I could go into it more another time, but and so it's just it's such a unique thing that is brought up every time now, and now it's just to the discretion of the states, which I think is a good way to go, to kind of just say, hey, like, let states and governors and people do it themselves for the sense. Now, obviously, I don't want that to happen, and not even to say I can understand justification and context, but I would much rather see people work. Like, now, obviously, like, you have a heart for that because you're like, I want to start an orphanage. I want to give people the opportunity to be able to say, I can give them a better life, knowing that I'm not able to take care of them. And so I think instead of investing either into either cutting all costs for these Planned Parenthood and other abortion clinics, and then that money gets funneled obviously into business, which benefits the heavy capitalist Republican side viewpoint, right? Instead, they should take that money, and they should take that money from the funding there and invest that into how can we care for the life, so then people can be like, I don't want this child, but I know I can give them a great life. In a good quality foster care system or something. I think that should be the investment, not either or. So it's a very thin line to walk, and it's been a unique place to be because I piss off both sides. It's a very unique place to be. I've had in the same conversation, I've been the odd one out, and I've seen that's the first time I've seen blue and red rally together.
We just need more of you, Dart. I'm gonna put you on a stage.
We need more purple people.
Not at a youth camp, bro.
Not
at a youth
You
camp.
need a little bit of it. You got to bust it though. That's the fun part.
I agree. I think there are some when the Republicans do it. Like, yes, they do.
Yeah. You got the extremes on both ends, you know.
But I think ultimately, the two things that would change that is, number one, is if the church, and it's gonna sound like I'm disappointed in the church a lot. I'm not. I love the church in America. Like, we do so much, but there's stuff we can. There's stuff church. I can't believe it. But there is more we could be doing, and so like letting the government be the ones to decide how we care for people or what we do, that is false. We should not be waiting on them. We should be acting first.
Yeah, 100%. I've noticed people change things, not policies.
Oh, amen.
Like, people create the change. That's what I've witnessed a lot of the time. I think there's this idea of too much investment into who's going to push the policy.
Or I like that politician because he's pretty. Let's vote for him.
Yeah, or anything like that. And but I think like the change that a lot of people want can come from just good effort in a community. And the church has been at the forefront of a lot of social movements. You look at civil rights, and you look at you look at the Baptist Convention was huge when it came to. I mean, Birmingham is a place of rich history when it comes to marches and it comes to civil rights. And
Even Montgomery.
Yeah, I mean, huge Montgomery bus ride. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
And then we see a lot of like the big topic right now is this idea, and I love your take on it. We see Trump's push right now. We're getting political. Oh my gosh. Hopefully in an honest way, that it'll be real for all my brothers and sisters on both ends of the spectrum. We see this push right now of Trump enacting a direction to say, if you're not here legally, you're gone, and we're going to remove you. And I don't know if you've seen it, I've seen it, we see people on every sign saying, let's narrow it, we've seen Christian creators on this end of the spectrum saying, well, Jesus went to all of these, like if Jesus came to your border, like what would you do? And Jesus went to all these different countries or lands. And then we see their sides where it's like, well, no, we have laws and rules, and like they're breaking the laws and rules and they should leave.
Yeah. And also historically, like it's way more complicated than that because at that time the Roman Empire controlled all.
Yeah.
So Jesus was a citizen of the Roman Empire, and he could go anywhere he wanted to. Like even in Scripture, when they ask him, "Oh, isn't there a tax?" and Jesus says, "Hey Peter, go fish. Once you catch the fish, the tax will be in the fish's mouth, and the coins are in the fish's mouth." And so it's a lot more complicated in the sense that there's the emotional response and then there's a logical response. And there's so many times where people are like, no, Jesus would go for the emotional response. No, he'd go for the logical one. But I think ultimately what you have to understand is that Jesus at the first and foremost cared more for people than policy. You can see that when he goes in the temple. And my stance is that I agree that they should not be here because number one, they have broken the law. But number two, we have broken the law too. And so I think first and foremost, what would be awesome to see is while these people are leaving, if the church would be there and be like, hey, know you're having a rough life. Is there any way we can support you as you leave or anything like that? Because I think at the end of the day, there's a lot that can be done. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people that are like, oh, we need to do more of this or more of that. But if the church is not, if God's not behind it, let me rephrase that because the church is the extension of him. If God's not behind it, then there's not going to be anything that happens that's going to be permanent.
Or if there was a way to, instead of deportation, find a way to expedite people as citizens. Because I think most people, like, I think someone can look at me like, man, that really sucks. I'm like torn. I'm in a rock and a hard place because I want those people to be a part of it. But also, too, we want them to be, number one, documented, to be able to get resources. Number two, to be able to, like, if they're working, to pay into the same taxes that we pay into, and all really optimistic thinking. But nevertheless, still a unique situation to navigate, especially for the believer.
And it's so hard with people too, because those people that are crossing the border, you have both extremes. Like you have the people that are like kids just trying to find a better life, just trying
sanctuary,
to,
like
sanctuary.
Need a place to stay, and we're like, you know, there's rules for asylum, and I am ignorant to those rules and laws, and so.
And then you have the other end where it's like criminals just like sneaking in, and they're like, oh, this is an easy way in.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that Trump has not deported as many people as Obama has yet.
I hear that argument a lot. I do.
Which is, I'm not being like, oh, Trump is justified. I just think it's still funny.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I hear that argument brought up a lot, and it's one that I just kind of take at surface value, like face value, just because it's like, I don't know. I think there's a part of it where it's like I should be processing it. I don't have to come up with an answer. I should be thinking about it, but at the same time, I have no. How am I going to impact that? Like, there's legitimately, like, there's nothing that I can do. I've been back to my hometown. I've been in near like Chicago. I've been here. I haven't seen an ICE agent. I haven't.
Yet.
Like, what am I supposed to do? You know, like I'm being told that I need to have an opinion on something I have no effect over at all. And so I that's why I just bump it so far down my list of priorities that it's just like, well, I ponder it.
Yeah.
I'm willing to like hear both sides and like what we should do. And it's an like, how do I have, I think too many people have opinions on things they can't actually impact.
That's a fair point.
But it's like an opinion that goes like way beyond it.
You don't want to kick out every illegal immigrant?
Yeah.
I'm going to hate you now.
Yeah, it's interesting. And so obviously we need more love and grace and patience. Patience. Just if we just had more patience, I think it would be good.
Even in general.
Yeah, just in everyday life. But yeah, no, it's the political landscape is unique, and so I'd love to like get more people who are on the I want to say opposite side of the spectrum, but I land pretty middle on a lot of things, and so love to get even more people on who are either on the far side of the spectrum.
Come to Birmingham.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, you know.
I know some of my classmates who we don't agree at all.
Yeah.
So you would have some fun.
How does that work? Where you guys are like, is it like this issue becomes secondary because the primary thing is focusing on the kingdom of Christ? Like, what does that look like when you navigate life with people on a different side of the spectrum?
So 100% yes, but sometimes it's hard. Not for me, because like I'm very like, hey, if we're united by this goal, let's go and do it, and we can have conversations about other things, but we're going to make sure, like, if we have a youth event, like, I'm not going to talk about like a thing we disagree with. I'm going to talk about Jesus, because that's what those kids need to hear. But like in classrooms, it's like it's very hard, because like you'll be put in groups, but that's stretching you, and that's what we need, because that's what Jesus did too. He asked questions that were like,
he put himself in these environments that were uniquely stretching him in a way, spending time with women, which was shocking, and having women in his posse of people to journey with. It's very, very interesting. So yeah,
it's pretty interesting. And sometimes it hasn't gotten to the point with me, but with other people I've gone to school with, like they've had disagreements about these things, and like they're like, oh, I have to get a new roommate, I can't stick with him. And I'm like,
man,
well, if you can't love your neighbor, are you really going to be doing these things that you said you were? Like, yes, you see him every day, yes, you may not agree, but the Lord still calls us to love those even if we don't agree with them. Like, we were doing passing out the popsicles, and the guy with the hat, I was talking to him, and I was like, hey, just want to give you this, like, Jesus loves you. He said, I know Jesus loves me because I'm a God. And I was like, I don't agree with that, but I'm going to love you from a distance. But yeah.
crazy.
It is crazy.
Unique political world we live in.
Yeah.
I will say. It's so unique, and honestly for me it's pretty far down the totem pole. Not that I don't think about it. It's just in my day-to-day life there's already so much I have to deal with. I just don't have the mental capacity to this is my stance and this is how I'm already got students who have suicidal problems that are in my Rolodex of like, okay, like if their phone call comes up, I'm pausing everything.
Yep.
Like if that would have been somebody else, not Noah. Noah gets an exception. Most times I pick up for Noah, but
Unless it's
this
a
is the
podcast.
one time. This is the one time, Noah. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But if it was like a student, I would have paused.
Yeah. Which is so true. Before I went to Birmingham and joined Highlands College, like I was able with my life to like watch all the podcasts about political stuff, stay in context.
Yeah.
Like my political view has changed throughout my life. I'm not as, what's the word? I wouldn't say rambunctious. That's what I'm trying to say with my political beliefs. Because remember when I said my professor, she's like, I voted Democratic. I was so torn by that. The Noah that was back then would have never talked to her again, like that type of person. But yeah, getting to Birmingham, like I have so much to do with school and students and with like paying for my life, like working,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to keep up with politics.
Yeah.
It's kind of pointless.
Yeah. You get the necessary things, but the niche details. I don't have. I'm not going to allocate the time to it. There's other things that I have to be sound in, and so I've always, what would Jesus do is really what I try to live by, and I have a bias when it comes to any article I read, and it's through the lens of Christ.
Amen. Come on.
And so that is my bias. That is my heavy bias. And so 110% every time, that is my bias. And I admit that. And so everyone has a bias. I mean, you know this. Everyone's got some presupposition they bring.
Oh, yeah. Even like when we're talking about like why we vote for a person, like you could see my bias was for like children in their lives. And your bias is for something else that's completely far
different.
removed from that.
Yeah, it's unique. And so if more people could admit, here's my bias, let me detach myself with either A, how I was raised, A, what I was taught, or B, what I already think, A, B, C, what I already think. Instead, let me go into this and let me just process. Let me listen to what a person is saying. And they go, well, I can rationalize with that point and really, really, really break it down. We need more of that.
Yeah.
We need so much more of it.
Less jubilee, more just coming together.
More just like, well, why do you think that way? Like, what in your life has led you to that? Then you understand the story. Some people hold it. I think too many people are focused on just the viewpoint rather than like, how did you get to that viewpoint?
And is it still right?
Right. Like, take the time. For instance, if I had one bad relationship with a woman, and then I say all women are evil, and I just make the claim all women are evil,
That's
you'd be
scripture.
like, you're
I'm kidding.
crazy.
I'm kidding.
That's
All people are evil. The heart is wicked above all things.
It is. It is indeed. And if I made that claim, you would want to be like, you wouldn't just be like, obviously you'd be like red flags, but you would be like, how did you get to that? And then you understand the person. You don't just attack their viewpoint. You understand why the person held the viewpoint, and then you can break down everything. But most people are just like, your viewpoint's wrong. And it's like, well, hold on. Like, have you understood their justification for it yet? No one does that.
No one.
And actually, that's one of the things I really try to do with a lot of people is I'm like, well, how did you get, like, what things happened for you to get here? I think that's actually more interesting than the viewpoint they hold. So.
Yeah. Even when we were just talking, what was it? I think it was Tuesday, wasn't it? We were practicing our testimonies.
Oh, yeah.
Even when we were doing that and you were asking me questions, it was exactly like that. It wasn't like, oh, like, what was, like, Jesus speaking to you in
Right.
that moment? It
was
was
like,
like, how did you get to that point? Tell me more about that.
What was the journey? Like, I've always been, the journey is the goal, not the destination. There's a wonderful quote where it's like, the person who loves walking will walk farther than the person just trying to like hit the distance or something like that. I don't know what the quote was. I just butchered that.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Something like that. I hate that quote. I hate that quote.
I'm sorry.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
You chose to play the game.
True.
Just because scamming people isn't in the rule book doesn't mean that it's fine. Doesn't mean that it's fine because of that. We'll keep recording here. The camera's going out. All right, let's pause this recording. All right, we're back with a new camera because the one I had bugged out and decided to die. What were we even talking about? I don't even remember. Welcome back to the commercial break, eh?
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that dandy? Aren't we just doing a great time?
Can I tell you I love A? Like when people say that, like it's so like, you know how people are like, oh, I love the British accent. I love it when like Midwesterners say Midwestern stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, interesting.
I think we were talking about politics, but I feel like we need to shift the conversation.
All right, let's do it. We can go a new direction, new route.
Okay.
I don't know. You take the reins.
Oh, I
buddy.
take the reins?
Sure. What do you want to talk about? I always like to do this with guests. Is at some point in the show, I always tell them, I didn't debrief you. If there's any point you go, you're like, dude, let's talk about this and let's do it. You know?
Yeah.
Let's send it.
I think what I would like to ask for you is, what do you see for your current students and like where you're going to college, where you're doing here at the Bridge, and what do you think is the thing that, number one, would make discipleship easier, or like what things are an obstacle in the way of discipleship for youth? Because I've only been able to do a little bit here in Iowa and in the Midwest. And what do you see as like the things that can ultimately help it?
So specifically, what's plaguing students right now? Or,
Yes. I know that was really long-winded the way I said it.
I guess in my time in youth ministry, there's a few things. Number one, there's a lack of literacy and a lack of biblical literacy as well. So, number one, students have really low levels of comprehension when it comes to just reading. Students really, there's some students I have who reading is insanely difficult for them. We have students who can comprehend and read, but then when it comes to reading within scriptural contexts and understanding and doing the homework and digging into maybe difficult passages, they don't know how to do or haven't been taught. And so there's that issue where it's like, if I have a student who doesn't know how to comprehend or understand God's word, then them trying to read the Bible on their own is almost impossible. And it becomes a chore, and it's super difficult, and they don't have always the tools. So that's one area. Another area too is just kind of the emotional. Like, I would rather have just the emotional experience of Jesus, and I'm content with the emotional experience I get from Jesus, and that's all I need. Or this idea of, I want Jesus, but like when it comes to like the rest of following him,
Sundays are good.
Yeah, like Sunday's just enough, or Wednesday's just enough. Yeah, there's a lot of issues, and so as someone trying to work with youth, I really try to push for a lot of different things. Teaching kids how to read the Bible is a great place to start. What is Scripture like, or making it so they're not dependent on a pastor or a youth leader. You have, if you have internet access, you have all the information, most likely in the world, at your fingertips.
Yep.
You can figure it out. You can take the time to do it. Are we helping students find practical ways to do that? That's one area for sure. So that's a big one for me. It's like biblical literacy and even just reading comprehension. Everyone wants to find a shortcut. Everybody wants to find a shortcut. Phones are a huge distraction. There's so many issues, I think, that plague students.
Yeah.
So many. It's insane. It's insane. There's so many, and each student is uniquely different.
Yep.
Another thing is youth pastors don't stay around. Youth pastors do not stick around. The average...
3 years.
Is that what it is now?
Average ministry position is, I think, 3 years.
Average...
Tenure. Is that what you would say? Tenure
of youth pastors.
18 months.
Oh my gosh, that is insane. Oh. We need to...
Here we go.
Order. Move up.
There we go.
We'll shrink this down a little bit.
Oh my gosh. The average youth pastor's tenure at a single church is generally reported to be 18 months. That's insane.
So, yeah. Yeah, as of 2020, 18 months.
That is
18 months.
That's not enough for a relationship.
You're not even getting a student to 7th grade.
No.
You're barely getting them to 7th grade. 18 months. So that's, I actually, see, then there's like these Mythbuster, average tenure youth pastor. For full-time youth pastors, 4 years, 1 month. For bivocational, 1 year. Average together about 3 years. So like even on the high end, 1 to 2
It's like
years.
3 years.
1 to 2 years, 3 years, 18 months, and 3, like, so at the low end, we're seeing more of this rise of 18 months. First, I'm going to be honest. If you only do 3 or 4 years, that's
still not enough.
no. You get a freshman to their senior year, and that's it. You get one generation of students.
Yeah.
People spend more time in college than that. We get people who and I mean, I will be, so there's definitely definitely an interesting. We should just use this camera angle the whole time.
Yeah,
Much
this is
better.
great.
Much
This
better.
is much better.
Well, now we know. It actually saves me on equipment.
Knowing
Anyway,
is half the battle.
so that's another issue. Is youth pastors just don't stay. They don't stay.
And I think we kind of touched on that in the beginning, talking about like how we need more ministers if we really want true
You
discipleship.
just need investment.
And it's so sad because we had a class and we had a guest speaker come in as a pastor from Texas. I forget the church and the pastor, which is a shame. I should go look at my notes. But he was talking, and this guy was all for Highlands College, all for it. But he had hired someone as his youth pastor from Highlands College. And 3 months in, he came to me. He's like, I gotta be honest, I'm not feeling it. And he's like, what are you not feeling? He's like, I'm not feeling being a youth pastor here. And he's like, can you tell me why? And he's like, well, because I'm not making connections, because I'm not getting paid enough, or my family's in trouble, which the family one that's a decent concern. Like, go check up on them. That's fair. But the pastor is like, I hate to say this, but it sounds like there's a lot of you in this and not enough communication with God in this.
Yeah.
And so he was talking, and the point he made is ministry has now become based on emotional response, like we talked about with the events, versus steadfast discipleship.
Depth, investment. And that's been my favorite part of ministry is getting to be a part of students' lives. The area of study I'm at William Penn is human services, so counseling, social work.
Oh, you'll do great in that
environment. Not that I want that career, because I actually enjoy the form of counseling I get to do as a pastor to students, because I don't just see them clinically. I wouldn't just see them clinically in an office for an hour to 2 hours a week. I do life with them, and so I get to ask questions that wouldn't be typical of a counselor, like poking and prodding at, like, how are you doing spiritually? The poking and prodding, is huge, and I think it's much needed. And I love that aspect of that's going to a kid's fine arts concert, going to basketball games, going to go fishing with students. That stuff I love, and that's the part that creates that depth that we need. I can't do that for all students.
No.
It's just not feasible.
That's why you need a church.
Right, and that's why you need leaders, and you need more adult leaders. You don't just want to get 22-year-olds and 20-year-olds who are cool and hip that want to serve with the youth. Like, that's cool and that's valuable, but you need
depth.
Yeah, you need people you need the married couple who is an empty nester now and is 65 and retired, who want to invest with their time. So have them, like, hang with youth. Like, kids are going to be like, oh, they're weird or whatever. But when they actually get to the point where they're like, oh, okay, then those will be the leaders they just latch on to.
And with that, like, seeing their marriage, and if they're still married, they're going to be like, I want what they have.
Right, and they see it, and they see how I think more ministries need that. They need parents, they need married couples, they need grandparents, aunts and uncles who are just willing to serve.
Need the family.
You do. You need families. Not that, like, I'm asking someone's mom I'm not gonna go to like a student's mom and be like, you want to serve? And
I am. What you talking about?
I will if they want. I would obviously if they want to serve, I'm not gonna say no.
Oh yeah.
But it's always I would be like, you hang with middle schools if your kid's in high school, so yeah, big issue there too. Lackluster teaching.
Yeah.
I hear a lot, a youth pastor shouldn't go over 15 minutes for teaching, like keep it under 15.
What youth pastor does that?
I've heard that's kind of the trend where we're going now is keep your sermons, shorter, which I think in some cases and scenarios
Might be good.
Spirit will lead you to like, it's time to cut it short. I've had to do it plenty of times. I've had to like be a witness to the room and understand, okay, we're not there yet. Let me get to some practical steps you can walk away with. But also too, there's I think students can sit through it if you teach well, and my mom's taught me this very well. If you teach well in a way, you can hold the attention for 25 minutes, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem at all. It's just how you structure it. How do you, and so I think there's a lot of kind of just,
this generation that we have coming up, they are so phenomenal, but so many people discredit what they can do.
yes, I've noticed that, especially middle school boys.
Especially, I have back at the church I'm at, he was in 4th grade when I started going to school at Highlands College, and what they do is they place you at a church and you serve there, so you get to see what church is like, which is awesome. But when I started, he was in 4th grade, and I kid you not, the first Sunday I was ever there, we were in the middle of worship, and he comes to me and he says, "Hey, I want the baptism of the Holy Spirit." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, can you baptize me in the Holy Spirit? I want to receive that, because I know I've received salvation, but I want the Holy Spirit to consume everything I do in my life." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
It's like, you're in 4th grade, dude.
You're in 4th grade. And then on top of that, this kid has prayed for healings, and they've happened. Like, legit.
Crazy.
Like, I witnessed it, and that blew my mind. And so, the people that say we're doomed and looking at the next generation, they're like, there's no hope. You're looking in the wrong places.
Yeah.
Wrong
100%.
places.
There is great young students out there. I've had the pleasure of, I got to journey alongside a student and just be helpful to him. So if you're watching this, Jimmy, love you, man.
Good job, Jimmy.
This is besides the point. Jimmy, I see what you're doing. Keep it up. And so Jimmy, I hung with him at our middle school experience on Sunday mornings and stuff, MSE. And my other two buddies, Noah and Luke, also invested into this young cat, and he's just, gears are churning for him, and he's just always boom, 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 and it's awesome. And it's cool when you see students who are just, they pick up the shoes and like, they don't need the life jacket anymore. They can swim on their own. And that is, if as a personal leader myself, my hope is that if you're here for a year, you can swim on your own. And by the time you're 4 years, you're not going to be the college student that keeps coming around.
Yep.
Not that I don't like that. I would love.
You'll be coming around,
Yeah,
but you'll be bringing people with you.
You will be leading.
There
you
you
won't just
go.
be hanging out.
Yes.
You won't be the older guy who's hanging out.
The not so cool guy anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I want you to be able to leave. I don't want to keep you.
No,
I don't want to keep you.
that's.
I got a team. I have my team. And if I see a position that needs to be filled or a team spot that needs to be, I might consider it. But no. There's other people already out there looking for a spot. I know there's someone looking for you. So, like, can I equip you in a way where you swim on your own?
Come on.
So that's a big part, too. I think, the enemy's always taking ground. So we got to be ready to go back and take some more, whether that's online or... So, there's a lot of plaguing the youth. And so can you focus on... Can you tackle one? And it's, what does your flock need? What does your sheep need? I can't speak for youth as a whole.
Right.
I think too many people try to in
Yeah, that's not
podcasts.
the
They
case.
speak for youth in general and big, and obviously that's how sociology works. We look at trends, and if we see the trend, then the trend is mathematically indicative of what people do through sociology, obviously. Like, why are people in prison? Well, the trend is because X, Y, and Z, and so statistically we can say you go to prison because A or B or C. And so I think there's too many times in podcast environments there's broad sweeping statements that we then try to make specific. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
your population doesn't deal with this issue. While like you might have a niche group, you might have a niche population of students where it's like they don't deal with this sin the way that this community does. So know your flock, and then know the divorce rate in your community. Know who's immigrated to your community. If your city speaks Spanish heavily,
Learn Spanish.
learn Spanish, or how can you reach where you're planted? But no one's staying planted, so it's hard to build something when you have no one to build it on. So
I had a boy at my church, is someone other than the previous boy I was talking about. He was in second grade when I first came, and the first Sunday I ever met him, I taught him what a dap was, and we have a handshake. And this guy is awesome, and now he's in the fourth grade, and he's moving up to the fifth. And I remember one Sunday before I came up here, we dapped each other up, and I was like, "How are you doing, bro?" And he's like, "I'm doing so good." And he's like, "Noah, no one stuck around as long as you have." And I was like, "Oh, dang, that hurts, because I'm just here for school. This is somebody's community." And so, yeah, we need more. We need more of that.
just need more people to stay planted. And then when it gets rough, to stay planted still. Stay planted even when it gets tough.
Yeah.
A lot of people pick up and go because it's the beauty of
The U.S.
People don't realize how big of a value it is to have an opportunity to leave. I think a lot of people forget that there's an opportunity. Like it's a very valuable thing you have to be able to leave. 'Cause there's places where it's like you can leave, but what are you going to go to?
Siberia.
Like what are you going to there's places where you can't. This is the option.
Yep.
So stick it out or make a miracle happen,
Yeah.
Yeah. Youth stuff, man, is tough.
But it's so fulfilling.
It
at the
is.
same time.
It is. It's, I always talk about invest in this generation and they'll invest back into you eventually.
Eventually. Maybe when you're on a walker.
Yeah.
But they'll invest.
I hope I'm never on a walker.
I
That's a
agree.
hope for me.
But yeah. I was going to say something. I done did forgot. But yeah, did you have anything you want to talk about?
Oh, man, I don't know. There's so much I feel like we could tap into. You're big. We've gone through the soccer. We've heard about you being a soccer guy. We've heard about you loving the youth of our world. Does Noah have any other hobbies that don't come to the surface often or are niche to you?
Well, that's the joy of living life with me. They will always come to the surface. Yeah, I have a lot of things I love. I love history. I love playing video games. I love watching soccer, watching sports, and I love playing sports. I think those are my main ones. But yeah, big history guy.
Really?
Yeah.
So history is very broad. What aspect of history do you enjoy the most study of?
I love... So, if you could take the high medieval ages and go backwards, that's what I love.
So we're talking pre-1400s?
Oh, yeah.
We're talking wow.
I love the Crusades.
Oh,
What? No. What's this laugh for?
enjoy the Crusades as an area of study, not I love that the Christians and Muslims kill a lot of people. Not that part.
Well, yes and no. So I love the history.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Mm-hmm.
The first crusade was very justified, and it did need to happen.
I don't even remember.
The other crusades were not so much.
I don't remember.
Especially the
I don't
fourth
even remember
crusade.
the first one. Yeah, I feel like they all ended up just being land grabs.
A lot of them did.
There we go. First crusade was a military expedition. Muslim rule.
So what a lot of... So I have a book called The Crusades, and you can tell it's not written by Christians. You can tell it's written by atheists.
Yeah.
Because they do not... So the religious there, yes.
Is remission of sins.
Yep.
For those who participated, appealing to the desire for spiritual salvation and access to the holy sites. Maybe not
So-
true, but not. Well, I mean, this. You're not
Yeah.
gonna get your sins forgiven for.
No,
murder,
you're not. That was something the Pope did, which I don't agree. But if we did not
I hope
have
not.
the Crusades, we would all be speaking Arabic.
Yeah. Because they did push them back, and then it became this land grab, using to recruit people based on their.
Well, even the
religion.
first one, the people that went on it, because remember, they're not perfect people.
Right.
And even if they did adhere to everything the Pope said at that point, it would not have been 100% correct. But before the Crusades even happened, the interesting thing was that all of the Muslim expansions, they took over Christian lands forcefully. Whereas Christianity, you remember the Roman Empire, it spread under persecution.
Yeah, it spread under the underground.
Under peace.
Not by the sword.
Not by the sword. And
Just
so
historically.
these lands were taken over by the sword by the Muslims, which now they believe in Islam. Completely different story. But at this time, they had branched out and they were taking over Christendom, or Christendom, however you want to say it, rapidly. They were taking over Spain, the Mediterranean Sea, because the Roman Empire was the safest place because they needed to transport everything. There was no piracy. There was none of that. But when the Roman Empire collapsed and Islam began to spread, piracy came back. Mediterranean Sea was not as safe. And I think it was either 5 or 8 years before the Crusade was launched, Rome itself was pillaged by the Muslims. So everywhere they were being encroached on, they were being attacked, and the only thing they could do is retaliate. So the Crusades are fascinating because most historians agree that if they did not happen, the Muslim expansion would have continued, and there would have been nothing to stop them.
Yeah, and then you wonder, what does our world look like today? Like, you always wonder that. Like, you just, like, there's always these novels written on, like, what if Hitler won? What if, like,
Yeah.
you've ever seen those books?
I've seen those.
It's interesting. It's like, what if? Like, what if things look different? Like, imagine if Pearl Harbor never happened.
Yeah.
Does America even get involved in World War II? Does, if 9/11 doesn't happen, what does airports look like today?
We can take full
You
tubs
gotta-
of toothpaste.
You gotta wonder.
Let's do it.
You gotta wonder, like, what does it look like today if this doesn't happen?
Yeah.
And very interesting to think about. Yeah, Crusades are this unique time.
I think it was.
And for sure, the first one you can kind of see there's some. Then you get to the other ones, and it's like, all right, we're just fighting over land.
So the Fourth Crusade is the one that they attack another Christian country, which is very stupid. But the reason why they did it is they realized they weren't going to get any gold, and they're like, well, we need gold out of this.
What's the movie? There's like a movie.
Kingdom
about
of Heaven.
it. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard good things about this movie, like
They
the
do.
acting.
It's based on, I want to say,
This
the Third
character.
Crusade. Yeah.
This character is so
King
cool.
Baldwin.
Yeah,
He is so cool.
He's portrayed in this film.
They do him justice.
Just from the clips, like whoever played this guy, that's an amazing actor. Beautiful actor.
He was 17 when he defeated Saladin
Yeah,
with a very vastly outnumbered army, and he captured
he had
Jerusalem.
leprosy, right?
He had leprosy.
He had leprosy.
So he didn't have an heir, which is why a lot of the things with Jerusalem happened, and it eventually fell into Muslim hands again.
Jerusalem has come.
Jerusalem.
Yeah, I've seen this scene in clips. It's a very and they just leave.
Yeah.
They both just leave.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But I believe it was the Seventh Crusade, seventh
how many
or
were there?
fifth. There were 7.
7 Crusades.
Yeah. It might have been the 5th. Yeah, because that was led by
This is
Louis. Yeah.
Louis. Was there an Eighth Crusade?
Oh, there was? Dang, look at me, I'm wrong.
Wow. How many were there? Was there a Ninth Crusade?
Dang.
Yeah. Are we sure that there was a ninth one? Where are you pulling this from?
Where is
Wick.
Lord Edward?
Where are we pulling this from?
Was there 10 crusades?
How many-
I only know
let's-
about the first few.
Yeah. How many crusades were there?
Thank you, Google.
9 major with okay, so there's 9 major ones.
The 7th, or which one is it?
7th was focused on Egypt,
Yeah, that's not it.
targeted Tunis.
The 6th, who achieved a peaceful return of Jerusalem. That one is fascinating because Islam has sects just like us.
Mm-hmm.
They have, just like we have Baptist and Presbyterian, they have Shia and all of the other ones.
Sunni, right?
Sunni, and
Sunni.
Shia.
And it's the debate on who it was. What? How?
Who is the direct heir of
Who's the
Muhammad.
direct heir? Yeah.
And so what's fascinating is at that time, Jerusalem was embroiled in a civil war between these two different sects of Islam. And Emperor Frederick, he sent them a message and he's like, hey, here's the deal. If y'all leave the city and let it fall into Christian hands, I will fully fund your campaigns. I will give you supplies. I will give you arms if you leave the city and leave the citizens. And they pulled out completely, and he marched in
Interesting.
victorious.
Wow.
And he didn't even lift a sword.
Let's get me more of that.
More
No.
money,
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. That's exactly what we need.
more and more money. But yeah, there's a lot of things in history that are
Super cool.
super cool, especially Christianity and the Roman Empire. So fascinating. There's a historian, I forget his name, but he's an atheist. But he decided he wanted to see what the world was like before Christianity. So he started studying it, and he said that sometimes at night he wouldn't be able to rest because of how the way the world was back then before Christianity.
Wow.
Because it was very much desire driven, very much carnal, very much demonic. And Christianity comes onto the scene, and that's where we get all our sense of morality, of justice, of truth, of fairness and hope, in the senses that we have a lot of in America. And so like the Romans, the first orphanages ever were made by Christians. The Romans, they just wanted sons. So if they gave birth to a daughter, they'd chunk the daughter out in the street, like after birth. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing.
They would. Awesome.
And then the Christians would come and pick them up. And
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
really fascinating.
Yeah, did Romans toss
Babies.
baby? We should probably show this toss baby girls
Girls.
in the
Street.
street. Why were newborn children led to die? Did practice infanticide. They abandoned unwanted infants sometimes in public places, known as streets or garbage dumps. Yeah, also seen in ancient Greece. It was due to poverty, birth defects, gender. There's a preference for male offering. Was there seen a financial burden? Wow, interesting.
So what's interesting is there's a lot of debate on what ultimately made the Roman Empire Christian. Some people are like, oh, because all the girls were Christian, they're like, oh, you got to convert. And then you have the debate of, oh, well, Constantine made it, or it wasn't illegal.
Like the legality that's pushed forward.
Which Constantine, which is so interesting, is according to what Roman historians have, which a lot of them it's up to debate because, it's like the best way that I've heard it described is imagine if there is a Donald Trump fan writing a fan fiction of what he's doing. So it's like, yes, this has happened, but there might be some parts that are embellished. And so Constantine was going against these pretenders, these things that were going to destroy the Roman Empire if he didn't stop them. And the night before, he had a vision of the Christian cross,
Right.
giving him
He has
victory.
a vision, and then
And so then he paints it on the shield and he gets victory. And a lot of people are like, well, maybe that's where he became Christian. But a lot of it came from the understanding from Constantine that if you have a divided empire, then you're not going to be able to rule. And so the Edict of Milan, which is what he's famous for,
Yep.
That made it to where everybody was religiously free. It was
Yeah.
no longer illegal to do anything like
Yeah.
that. So it's fascinating.
It is. It's a unique part of history, and a lot of what was going on, when, where, what, who, why, how, and so super interesting. Love history. One of the things I've been looking up a lot of lately, just because I get a kick out of it, was the Navajo code talkers.
Yes.
Those are some of
those
the
are
most. I think those are the most slept on people of World War II. Actually, more than just World War II, but super interesting to read about. And what a flex! Like, what a flex by the United States. Like, what's crazy is that they served. That they served to do it. You know, they fought for a country that took from them. It's crazy, but it's just cool to hear. Like, it's like, yeah, there's no way anyone's figuring out their code. There's no way. No. Even if you spoke Navajo, which is like, good luck. Have you looked at the language? Yes. It's tonal, and at the time was unwritten. So
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Have you heard like what it sounds like?
No, pull it up.
You gotta hear this. You just gotta.
Not Navy Federal. We don't want that.
It is insane. Like, where's the video? Well, let's just go to YouTube. Mm-hmm. You know, like, yeah, they historians, and the only reason we know about it is because it was declassified in the 60s, I think.
Unlike the Epstein files. Anyways. Yeah, Navajo.
Navajo Code Talkers. Here we go. Let's see if we can find the video. I'm trying to find it. There's like a specific video, but maybe we can just pull up. Maybe we can just pull up one of them.
Yeah. Another interesting thing is in World War I, the first use of a sniper was done by a Canadian Native American.
Almost crashed the whole dang thing. All right, let's see what we got here.
Over 200 Navajo code talkers participated on the landing of Iwo Jima. 5th Marine Division were on the north side of the island. A company of Marines were pinned down real badly. They were being fired upon from 3 different directions. Mortar shells were being dropped down. They were hunkering desperately in their foxhole. Company commander wrote down a message asking for help, handed to a Navajo code talker. This is what the Navajo code talker said. This is the actual message that was sent on Iwo. De be ana hachin bi dat is tahi de na sonse taji chochin si da sa ta asta na kit shash. What does that mean?
Dude.
Even the guy's like, what does that mean?
So he you have to remember, at the time, the language is unwritten. So we only have the written language now because it's been written.
Yeah.
Someone said that into a mic, and people, obviously the enemy heard it because they pick up radio frequencies. They were so confident, and the code was so unbreakable. The code was so unbreakable that here's why it's crazy. So he goes on, and so you got to wonder, okay, so what did he say, right? He's probably just saying, like, send bombs to this location just in Navajo because no one spoke frickin' Navajo.
This is what he said in Navajo. Sheep, eyes, nose, deer, destroyer, tea, mouse, turkey, onion, sick horse, 3, 6, 2, bear. As each Navajo word came through the air, the code talker down at the beach command post, he writes it down in English. What did he write down? Send demolition team to hill 362B. There were 3 hills.
They decoded all the words in Navajo too. So they took Navajo and then decoded specific words. So like, I think it's stated somewhere that like beaver was the word for like boat or submarine. And so they would then decode the Navajo. So even if someone could speak Navajo, what they would have gotten out of that, and what so the Japanese were like, okay, what did he say? Sheep, sick horse, and then they're like,
what is a sheep?
So
I'm gonna be honest. Those Japanese probably thought a demon was coming.
I bet you they were like, what? What is Navajo? Because Navajo's tonal too. So like the same word can mean something different just based off its tone. Yeah, super cool. Really cool, unique part of history that's really kind of forgotten about.
Yeah.
They were honored in 2001 by Bush, and then re-honored again in 2017. I think Donald Trump had them come into the White House, and he did a ceremony for them or something. That's pretty cool. It's really, really unique part of history. But yeah, man, we are approaching almost 2 hours on this podcast.
I'm
dude.
enjoying it.
It's been a great time. I think this has been a great first episode.
I agree.
I love that this episode's been awesome. Is there anything to wrap this up, to say to the guests, to say something to someone watching? The mic is yours. What do you want to say, man, to someone watching?
That you are not alone. You are never alone. That God is always there for you, whether you are a believer or not. And no matter what you're doing, keep up the good fight. And even when people are not watching, keep on doing what you're doing, because our end reward is not based on what people see, but it's at the end of the day, are you satisfied with what you're doing? And ultimately, are you pleasing God? So as Galaxy Quest said, the Captain Peter Taggart Quincy said, never give up, never surrender, and keep on enduring in your good faith.
Well, Mr. Noah P., thank you for joining this episode of the podcast. Thanks for kicking off season 2. And for sure, never give up. Keep pushing on. So, friends, family, acquaintances, thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you again. This will be available anywhere you get your podcast. So, feel free to watch season 1 if you haven't already. And we will see you guys next time.
It's been a pleasure.
Let's do it.